I am Diana, and I am a full time housewife. Aside from taking care of my three children, I also take care of my husband, who is paralyzed for 3 years now. He suffered from a heat stroke when he was working as a field engineer. He went unconscious one time when he was on duty because during that day they were in an open field and the heat index was at its peak. Because of this, he collapsed, and while he was standing at the top of a 3 story building, he fell hard to the ground. The commotion sparked, and good thing that he was rushed to the hospital immediately. That was the most devastating day of my life. As soon as I received the phone call, I could feel my body trembling. I couldn't believe what I heard. On top of that, I couldn't fathom what would happen to my husband. What if we lose him? When I received the hospital details, I went there immediately, and to my surprise, my mother in law came earlier than me. She was being hysterical and was panicking so hard. Jessie, calm down. Everything will be okay. My son is in a critical condition, and you're asking me to calm down? Are you insane? She shouted at me. I'm not shocked at all. I am already used to this attitude of hers towards me. If it's not shouting, it's nagging. I don't even give a damn anymore. I admit that there are times that I want to talk back to her, but I just want to be the bigger person and keep my mouth shut instead. My husband was confined for almost 2 weeks. For a week, I was just by his side, tending to all his needs. I insisted on taking care of him, and I wanted to be hands on because, of course, he is my husband. I must be with him in times of need. However, in the second week, my mother in law insisted that she will be the one in charge. She told me that I should go back to work to save up money for the bills in case he will be staying longer in the hospital. I told her that it is fine with me and that I'm okay not going to work because I have to be present during my husband's recovery. But she was so determined that I must go. The doctor said that he is in a stable condition now. Don't worry, I'll take care of him, so you can go to work tomorrow. It's fine. I have already filed a leave of absence from our boss. He understands my situation. No, you have to. This time around, I was shocked by the way she responded. Why was she so mad? But I'm on a 2 week work leave, so my boss said it's fine. You have to work, so go. I have no choice but to follow her. Maybe she also wanted to have alone time with her son, and perhaps she was genuinely concerned about the finances. I went to the office the next day. I put all my time and energy into my work. My office mates were shocked that I showed up to work today because they all knew the critical condition of my husband. But I told them that I needed to work extra hard for the finances. Hence, my boss was so generous enough to lend me higher pay this month to pay for the hospital bills and everything that would help my husband recover. As we got the results from his many tests, the doctor said that half of his body was going paralyzed. I'm so sorry to tell you this bad news, Mrs. Sanders, but your husband's dramatic fall caused him paralysis on the right side of his body. However, there is still hope for recovery. Oh, thank you so much, doctor. I'm Hans's mother. And I know that you're doing your best to ease his condition. Please do everything that you can. I didn't hear much of the doctor's report, especially on the last part because my mother in law interrupted him. But one thing is for sure, my husband is now paralyzed and will be bedridden for all his days. My heart sank. I couldn't believe he had to suffer like this. I don't want to see him in this condition. My mother in law demanded that she stay with us because she wants to take care of her son personally while I work. I mean, it is an honest and thoughtful gesture, but I don't want to bother her, especially because she's also getting old. We can afford to hire a personal caregiver, but she kept on asserting that she will take care of him. So, with that, as soon as my husband got discharged, my mother in law instantly moved in with us. And it has been 3 years now since my husband had that terrible accident. We did all the necessary intervention and therapy needed to make him recover fast, but everything was so stagnant. There was no growth whatsoever. I focused on earning money for my family, including my husband's medical expenses. My mother in law was the one that goes with my husband during therapy sessions and medical interventions programs. Whenever they attend one, I always checked up on him after the session, asking her about my husband's improvements and health issues. But she kept on giving me replies like, "Well, same as last time, no progress. There's no improvement. The doctor said that, we must do another session." And on it goes. We always put on the same session for 3 years, and it is impossible that until now there is still no sign of recovery. Is it the doctor's fault, or is my mother in law up to something? I don't want to think ill about her, but I couldn't help it. But as a family, I will not think bad about her. One weekend, I asked my mother in law if I will take the shift in taking care of my husband. As I sat beside him, watching him struggle with his paralysis, my heart ached, and I feel this every passing day. Every day is a battle, and I'm constantly fighting, and it seems like I will never win. I tried to talk to him, tell him about my day and everything that held a significant memory for him, because even if he couldn't fully understand me, I would still let him know that he is still special to me, that he is still my husband. I stared at my husband lying on his bed weakly. He couldn't walk or talk at all, and it seemed as if the hope of his recovery was slipping away. During these trying times, my mother in law appeared to be the pillar of strength. She was the one holding us together, but deep down, a sense of suspicion started to creep into my mind. It's the natural gut feeling that's telling me that something is not right. There was this one time when I went home earlier than usual. I immediately approached my husband's bedroom to check on him, but right before I could enter, I heard my mother in law talking to someone, and if I'm not mistaken, I heard my husband's voice as well. They were talking to each other. So I rushed for the door. I was about to open it, but it was locked. I tried to open it forcefully, holding the knob and knocking on the door, but it took my mother in law 2 minutes to finally open it. As soon as I got inside, everything was normal. My husband was lying with a dextrose in his veins, and the place was set perfectly. Nothing changed. "Who are you talking to?" She showed me her phone and rolled her eyes. "My friend, what about it?" I just heaved a sigh and proceeded to tend to my husband. I don't want to deal with her strange behavior anymore. There were moments when my mother in law would insist on taking complete control over my husband's care, not allowing me to tend to him or even accompanying him to medical appointments. Her possessiveness and protectiveness raised red flags, and I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was amiss. Something does not sit right with me. "Jesse, I can take care of Hans. I want to be the one to help him with his daily activities. Please let me take care of my husband." "Diana, I know you mean well, but I've been taking care of Hans for a while now. I know what's best for him." "I understand that you have been helping him, but I just want to be more involved. It's my duty as his wife." My mother in law's expression turned cold, and she stepped closer to me, lowering her voice. "You don't understand, Diana. I know what Hans needs. Trust me. I'm doing everything in his best interest." My frustration began to bubble up, but I remained composed. "I appreciate your help, but I want to be an active participant in Hans's care. I want to take him to therapy and medical consultations. I want to be there for him." Her eyes narrowed and suspicion was evident from her every word. "Why are you insisting on being involved, Diana? Are you trying to control everything? I'm the one who has been taking care of him, sacrificing my own time and energy." My heart sank. I am hurt by her accusations. Why is she being so rude? This is my husband we are talking about. I am not trying to control anything, Jesse. I just want to support my husband. I love him and I want to be there for him in every possible way. She pushed me away out of frustration. I even hit the ground because of the impact. He is my son, and you are nothing but an outsider, so don't go on telling me who you are and what you want to do because I don't fucking care. He is my husband, and I must have control of everything in decision making and action taking. I am his wife, and I must be consulted for everything that needs to be done for my husband's recovery. But it seems like I am nothing but a display, an outcast. I just remained silent and left her on the spot. She's becoming crazy and possessive of her son. I knew from the start that I couldn't trust her. She doesn't even disclose important medical information to me. Not a single doctor's report was relayed to me because my mother in law refuses to give me anything. I knew something was happening behind my back. Hence, one fine Sunday afternoon, driven by my gut instinct, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I discreetly installed a hidden camera in my husband's bedroom, hoping to uncover the truth behind my mother in law's strange behavior. I placed the hidden camera during my mother in law's mandatory afternoon stroll in the garden with my husband while in a wheelchair. I hid it in a place where they would never notice it. I left it for a week and I anxiously awaited the moment when I could review the footage and unveil the secrets that lay hidden. My mother in law took my husband to the hospital for another therapy session. Oh God, I know something is not right about that session. Right after I gave them the money for the session's payment, they immediately left. I insisted on driving them, but as usual, she refused it. And its final, it became an opportunity for me to finally review the recordings. My heart raced with anticipation. As I watched the footage, my world shattered around me. I covered my mouth out of shock. There is no way this is real. I watched the footage intently, and there he was, my supposedly paralyzed husband, walking and talking effortlessly with his mother. My heart started to beat fast. I could feel my entire body trembling and shaking nervously. Of all the lies? I didn't expect this. Of all the people? It has to be my husband? They were acting as if everything was normal whenever I was away. The shock and disbelief overwhelmed me and tears welled up in my eyes. How could they deceive me like this? Good thing the hidden camera has a mic, and the audio was also recorded. I got to hear their conversations. I don't have the strength to take everything that they were talking about. It hurts me. I listened to their conversation, and every word that came out of their mouth felt like a knife stabbing into my heart. I learned that my husband has been healed since the first 5 months of his therapy, and they made a fool out of me? On top of that, I heard another heartbreaking conversation from them. Did you transfer the money from Diana's account to our secret business account? Of course, my son. I've been doing it regularly. She won't suspect a thing. My husband smirked and chuckled. Excellent. She works so hard, oblivious to our plans. Soon, we'll have everything we want. They have been using my money for their gain, plotting behind my back. This is the most heartbreaking betrayal ever. My husband laughed evilly in the footage. Acting like a helpless victim has paid off well, hasn't it? Diana fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. My mother-in-law smirked, reveling in their deceitful victory. And she thought we were so devoted to her. Little did she know we were plotting our escape all along. Escape? They're stealing my money and mocking my devotion? I won't let them get away with this. I continue to watch, capturing their incriminating conversation on the hidden camera.
Once our secret business takes off, we'll leave Diana with nothing. She'll finally realize she's been a fool.
His mother nodded as their alliance was strengthening with each word. Oh, my son, it's so thrilling to be partners in crime. Our secret will remain hidden, and Diana will pay the price for her naivety. My eyes were filled with tears as the depth of their betrayal became clear. I am determined that they won't take advantage of me any longer. I'll expose their lies and reclaim what's rightfully mine. As the truth unfolded before my eyes, another horrifying realization hit me. The money I had tirelessly earned to pay for my husband's medical expenses had been squandered on their secret venture, and this hurt me the most. They had been using my hard earned money to build a business right under my nose, while I thought it was going towards my husband's well being. No wonder how many sessions we have taken. My husband was still not recovering, and this explains why my mother in law insisted on taking care of our son and barred me from doing it. I was so determined to gather concrete evidence, I mastered the courage to visit their secret business location because, good thing they mentioned the address in one of their conversations and I jotted it down. So, with no further ado, I went to the location and to my surprise, the construction was still ongoing. Armed with my phone, I secretly captured photographs documenting their deceits and betrayal. These pictures would serve as proof of their treachery. But I couldn't stop there. Anger and thirst for justice consumed me. I wanted them to feel the pain and humiliation they had inflicted upon me. And so I meticulously planned my revenge, setting the stage for my upcoming birthday party. Their monstrosity must not prevail. I want everyone to know what they have done. The day arrived and I welcomed my guests, including my husband and mother-in-law, with a smile. Little did they know the storm that was about to be unleashed. I couldn't look at my husband with worry and pity now. He was sitting in that wheelchair with no remorse nor a hint of guilt. I wanted to expose their lies so badly. As the party progressed, I stood at the center and called everybody's attention. Thank you all for being here tonight to celebrate my birthday. It means the world to me. The guests cheered and made a resounding applause, expressing their love and support. Before we continue the festivities, I have a special surprise to share with all of you. My eyes darted towards my husband and his mother, who stood beside each other trying to maintain their composed facade, their fake act. I have been working on something very dear to me, and tonight I want to share it with all of you because I believe that this success is meant to be celebrated with people that hold a special place in my heart, which is all of you. I picked up a large covered frame. I dramatically unveiled the cloth covering it, revealing a picture of my husband and my mother-in-law's secret business. I smiled at everyone excitedly. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my latest venture. This will be my new business, and I'm delighted to invite you all to the grand opening next week. The guests cheered and congratulated me. Meanwhile, the shock on my husband's and mother-in-law's faces were priceless. Their carefully constructed facade crumbling before the eyes of our friends and family. In a fit of rage, my husband stood up from his wheelchair and shouted, "That's mine!" Everyone in the venue gasped. Some were bewildered and shocked by what they saw. My husband, supposedly paralyzed, stood up and yelled his heart out. The guests fell silent with their eyes widened in disbelief. "Oh, Hans, you're mistaken. This is my business. You used all my money, remember? You and your mother, while all this time you were playing games with me? You tricked me that you were paralyzed when all this time you were already healed. And now you've just unveiled your secret." The room erupted with murmurs and whispers. People started connecting the dots, realizing the deception they have all been a part of. Wait, Hans isn't paralyzed?
They've been lying to us this whole time?
My mother in law panicked and even attempted to regain control of the situation. It's not what you think. There is an explanation for all of this.
Save your explanation, Jessie. Your lies and deceit have been exposed.
I pulled out a folder from behind the stage, holding up several pictures showcasing the secret business, stolen money, and their collaboration. Look at these pictures, everyone. This is the truth they hid from us. They used my hard earned money to build this business behind my back. The guests looked at the incriminating evidence. The anger and disappointment were all visible on their faces. I can't believe they took advantage of your trust, Diana. They manipulated all of us. They should be ashamed. My husband was overwhelmed by his anger, completely forgetting his pretense. He started walking, no longer paralyzed. The room fell into complete silence, with shocked expressions on their faces.
It was all her idea. My mother made me do it.
I looked at Hans, my eyes filled with a mix of sadness and anger. I trusted you, Hans. We were supposed to face this challenge together. The guests surround me, offering their support and sympathy. Both my husband and mother-in-law were forced to face the consequences of their actions, pleading for forgiveness as their deceit unraveled in front of everyone. My husband went to his knees and pleaded for mercy, covering his face with tears and guilt. While my mother-in-law stood there not swallowing her pride, she remained arrogant and egotistical. So, at that moment, I reclaimed my power and cut all ties with them. I claimed ownership of the house and the business, and I took control of my life once again. I left them at the venue with no words coming out of my mouth. Enough is enough. I'm done with all their bullshit. Their betrayal had cost them dearly, and they were cast out of my life forever. As I moved forward, liberated from their manipulation and lies, I focused on rebuilding my life and finding happiness. The wounds they inflicted would take time to heal, but I was determined to leave the past behind and embrace a future filled with honesty and authenticity.